In the 8th episode of ParaDoc, Is Our History Written in Nature? The Primeval Code, Part 2. How many plants and animals have we humans already genetically modified with our existence? In the case of the trout, this modification has been clearly demonstrated. The behavior of the trout when they were given food was also interesting. The untreated trout immediately came to the place where the food was given. The time-coded trout, however, fled, which should be the normal reaction of a wild animal. Wheat treated with this technique showed 10 to 14% higher protein content. Corn and cereals treated with this technique were more resistant to pests and required less pesticides. It would be possible to obtain fertile seeds using this technology, which would allow a farmer to have his own automatism again without having to buy new seeds every time. But will the few large seed monopolists allow this? Today's seeds are unique, so farmers always have to buy new seeds. With the increased yield of maize, for example, and the original nature of the plants, the doors are opening again to a natural and more efficient way of dealing with the plants. Over the years, people have negatively altered the healthy and profitable nature of plants in order to make more money, because not only positive characteristics could be invoked. Could ancient creatures be reactivated? Since the invention was made over 30 years ago and no great progress has been made, it is worth thinking about why we don't hear anything about such an exciting invention. The results are reproducible and the device is easy to build yourself, so perhaps this technology has long been the subject of extensive research, but we don't hear about it. So to what extent can we talk about a reactivation of diversity if we accept this method as fully functional, so that a linear tracing of species is possible by activating the old genes? According to the theory of evolution, this technique should be able to turn the embryo of one animal into a completely different one. Anyone can consider how realistic this idea is. Why has this technology not caught on? Apart from the economic aspect, perhaps there is something else they want to hide. For many episodes, we have been interested in the question of what holds the world together at its core. Every scientist answers it in their own way. If we look at the world of bacteria, knowing how many of them there are in a tiny spot, and put ourselves in their shoes, we can imagine that we too are just one part of a much larger complex. Around 39 trillion bacteria live in a human body, which is about 2 kilograms of our body weight. This is where the imagination stops, and we will never understand how many of them there are on the whole Earth. With everything we do, we humans are part of a living organism called Earth. Researchers have discovered through simulations that the universe resembles a human brain. More on this later. Many consider themselves to be a random product of millions of years of evolution. But if this is how humans evolved, nature is illogically defined. You could then say that we humans still represent nature with everything we do, the nature of the entire planet Earth. Even if we think, act, invent technologies, and outgrow the planet, so we would have no way of escaping nature. Another way of thinking would be that we humans have embarked on a new path because we show a fundamental difference to all other living beings, namely that we are aware of everything and can think. This creates a new dimension of reality for the living being. It can feel anything at all. An animal, which has no consciousness and is controlled by its instincts, is like a robot in direct comparison to a human being, which only follows a program. This characteristic of humans should make us think. And in the next episode of ParaDoc, what is money? If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and if you don't want to miss any more videos from us in the future, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell. It would be a huge support to our work.